Good morning and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, February 25th. We do begin each of our meetings with an invocation, and I believe we have Mr. Don Patton, excuse me, with Grace Church this morning to lead us. We invite you to join us.
Some verses from the book of Proverbs that remind us that wisdom and understanding come from the Lord. Tune your hearts to wisdom and concentrate on understanding. Cry out for insight and ask for understanding. Then you will understand what it means to fear the Lord, and you will gain knowledge of God. For the Lord grants wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He grants a treasure of common sense to the honest. He is a shield to those who walk with integrity. Don't you like that phrase? He grants a treasure of common sense to the honest. He is a shield to those who walk with integrity. Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we thank you that you grant us wisdom and understanding, but also common sense to make good decisions when we walk in an upright way, when we have honesty and integrity. We also pray that you would be a shield to each person representing this county, making decisions on behalf of the citizens of this county. We pray for grace and peace over their lives. We pray for your protection over this city and over this county. And we thank you, Lord, for all of the people in law enforcement that keep this city and our county in peace. We pray for your protection over them. May you lead and give wisdom and understanding in all the decisions that are made. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
And if I could ask our treasurer to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We are on item 3.
Item number 3 is staff emergency items, and I'm unaware of any staff emergency items today.
Item 4.
Item number 4 is changes, postponements, and notice of the next meeting. I'm aware of one change to today's agenda. We will have an executive session under item number 14, and the next meeting will be Tuesday, March 11th at 9:00 a.m.
Item 5.
Item number 5 is the consent calendar, including items 5A through 5Q.
Is there anyone here who wishes to speak on an item on the consent calendar? I see none in the audience and none online, so I'll bring it up to commissioners for comments or motion.
I would move approval of the consent calendar.
Second.
Okay, that's been moved and seconded. One last chance for any comments or questions from commissioners. I'll call the roll. Commissioner Bremer.
Aye.
Commissioner Wysong.
Aye.
Commissioner Applegate.
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 5-0. Item 6.
Item number 6 is the proclamation recognizing the retirement of Jeff Eckhart, Carrie Geithner, Chair, Board of County Commissioners.
I move the approval of a proclamation recognizing the retirement of Jeff Eckhart, and I'll say with much sorrow, but also with much joy for his future. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County, Colorado, with deep appreciation, acknowledges the retirement of Jeff Eckhart following his 26 years with El Paso County. And whereas Jeff was hired in May 1998 as a Geographic Information System Specialist for the Department of Transportation, establishing the department's first GIS program. And whereas Jeff was promoted and transferred to the Information Technology Department in 2001 to lead the consolidated countywide GIS program. And whereas during a dozen years as a manager and general manager in the IT department, Jeff provided strategic direction for the development and support of key systems, including enterprise resource planning, time and attendance management, web content, geographic information systems, and document management. And whereas Jeff began his executive leadership of the Digital Strategy and Technology Department in August 2016 as IT director, demonstrating exceptional leadership and innovation. And whereas Jeff's dedication and expertise led to his promotion to Chief Information Officer in 2018, where he has continued to excel in guiding technological advancements. And whereas his tenure included overseeing the adoption of cloud-based productivity tools such as Microsoft Office 365, which enabled a significant portion of the county to operate remotely during the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas Jeff established the first dedicated information security practice with the department to strengthen defenses and prepare the organization for cybersecurity-related threats. And whereas in 2019, Jeff established the first county broadband strategic plan to address the concerns of unserved and underserved residents while continuing to build out the operational fiber network that connects county facilities with high-speed data and communications capabilities. And whereas, under Jeff's leadership, in collaboration with the assessor and treasurer, significant technical debt was eliminated by retiring the VAX mainframe system and custom applications, transitioning these critical functions to modern, commercially supported platforms. And whereas, in 2022, Jeff began leading the development and implementation of the countywide strategic plan, establishing an agile framework and metrics-based accountability model to meet the dynamic priorities of the county's constituents. And whereas Jeff has dedicated more than 30 years to public service at the local government level, focused on organizational strategy and the accountable and efficient use of taxpayer resources through technology. Now, therefore, the Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County, Colorado hereby proclaims its gratitude to Jeff Eckert for his more than 26 years of service to El Paso County and wishes him the best in retirement. Done this 25th day of February 2025 at Colorado Springs, Colorado. Signed the Board of County Commissioners, Carrie Geithner, Chair, Holly Williams, Vice Chair, Corey Applegate, Member, Cami Bremer, Member, Bill Wysong, Member, and attested to by Steve Schleicher, County Clerk and Recorder.
Second.
Okay, come on up.
Thank you, Commissioners. I appreciate your time this morning. I'm saving my comments to the end. I think there's a few speakers ahead of me, so I'll yield the floor to them.
Alrighty.
Well, it's a real honor to be here. My name is Brett Waters. I'm the county administrator, and what a privilege it is to sit or stand next to someone like Jeff Eckert. In 27 years of working for the county, and I've worked with Jeff since I've been the county administrator, but also worked with him when I was at the city of Colorado Springs. Let me just say how good a person Jeff is. He's a great leader. He's just a good person. He's ethical and he's honest, and he always has displayed high integrity when I've worked for him. And that's shown by the people behind me and his team that's here that's demonstrating his leadership by their attendance. There's a whole list of things that Jeff has accomplished that we've mentioned today. But one of those things is the strategic plan. The strategic plan really has if you were to name how many strategic planning efforts go into an information technology department to run, there's a very few. The reason, and I've told Jeff this, the reason that strategic planning is in IT is because of Jeff Eckert and because of his leadership and his strategic planning mind that he has. He's a very strategic thinker, and that's why it's there. And he's done an outstanding job in managing and working and taking us to the next level. Jeff is a dedicated and loyal county employee. I have never met someone like Jeff Eckert who's dedicated to the county like he is. He rides for the brand, and it's going to be very hard to replace a Jeff Eckert because he's completely dedicated to the county around the clock. He understands our culture, what's important to us, what we value, and that's displayed in his leadership. His culture in IT, I think there is in previous places that I've worked, there seems to be always a complaint about IT, like they're not here fast enough, my computer's not working, things are happening. I don't see that here. I see a team behind me who's dedicated, who's responsive, who comes when we call, and is really happy to be there. And that's really due to Jeff's leadership, being service-focused and innovative and having a positive attitude. Well, that said, you'll be a tremendous loss for us, Jeff. We wish you well with your two sons. Jeff is a family man, and with his wife who's retiring, Natalie, who I've worked with for years ago, retiring the same day. And so I wish them well in their retirement. They'll do great things in the future as well. But Jeff, it's just been an honor to work with you, and thank you so much. So,
Good morning, commissioners, colleagues, guests. My name is Joe Palmer. I'm the Deputy Chief Information Officer for El Paso County. It is my great honor to speak today in recognition of Jeff Eckhart as we celebrate his retirement after 26 years of dedicated service to this county. For the past 20 years, I've had the privilege of knowing Jeff and the opportunity to work alongside him for much of that time, not just as a colleague, but as a friend. In that time, I've come to know him as a man of great character, integrity, and vision. Jeff has served this county admirably and led the Information Technology Department through times of extraordinary change. Under his leadership, we have modernized critical systems, strengthened cybersecurity, expanded digital services, and enhanced how technology supports the vital work of every department and employee in this county. His strategic foresight has positioned us for success, not just in meeting today's needs, but in preparing for the challenges of the future. Beyond his impressive list of accomplishments is the way that he is led that stands out the most. He's a steady, principled leader, thoughtful in his decision-making, unwavering in his commitment to public service, and deeply invested in the people around him. His mentorship and support has shaped so many of us, myself included, and his impact will be felt for years to come. Jeff, on behalf of your colleagues and friends, thank you. Thank you for your leadership, your vision, and your friendship. You leave behind a legacy of excellence, and while we will miss you greatly, we wish you nothing but the best in this next chapter. Congratulations and enjoy your well-earned retirement, my friend.
Good morning, Commissioner. Steve Schleicher, El Paso County Clerk and Recorder. I knew that this sad day was coming, and I received a phone call last week asking if I would speak here at Jeff's retirement. And this is an awesome opportunity for 26 years of he and I growing up with one another to roast the heck out of him. So all that know me.
Sir, I just want to remind you as you're doing your roasting that the clock is ticking.
Oh, Jeff. Oh, Jeff. But what I want to basically sit there and share with you guys is I'm truly honored to stand here today and express my heartfelt gratitude as we celebrate your retirement, Jeff. After more than 26 years of dedicated service as the Chief Information Officer for El Paso County, Colorado, Jeff and I started right about the same time, and we grew up with one another here in the county. Jeff, your leadership and vision have been instrumental in shaping the county's technological landscape, and I really don't think you truly understand the resume that you helped build for many of us that are currently elected today. Reflecting on our journey together, I fondly remember the late 90s when we first began working alongside each other. Back then, our hair color was different. There was certainly more on top of our heads than on our faces. Those early days were filled with challenges and triumphs. and I am grateful for the camaraderie and collaboration we've shared. One of our significant achievements was the monumental task of moving the county on from the VAC system alongside Mark Lauderman. That took a lot of meetings, insight, a lot of fights between the three of us. But your expertise and determination were crucial in making this transition a success. And it stands as a testament to your commitment to progress and innovation. As you and your wife embark on this new chapter, please know that your presence will be greatly missed, my friend. Your legacy of excellence and dedication will continue to inspire us all. I wish you a retirement filled with joy, relaxation, and cherished moments with your family. One thing that was mentioned is Jeff rides the brand, as our county administrator just shared. Not many know that Jeff does not reside in this county, but he loves El Paso County. So, Jeff, first and foremost, thank you for choosing me to be part of this special moment. It has been an honor to work alongside you and learn from your exemplary leadership, my friend. Congratulations. Appreciate you.
Chair Geithner, Vice Chair Williams, County Commissioners. Jeff, congratulations on reaching this incredible milestone. It has been an absolute honor and privilege to work alongside you during your tenure as our IT director. As you stepped into this well-deserved retirement, I hope it brings you everything you've imagined and more, full of joy, relaxation, and new adventures. Your legacy here is profound, particularly through your exceptional leadership. Speaking as both the former clerk and recorder and the current treasurer, I can say with gratitude that your contributions have left an indelible mark on our offices. Your wisdom has guided us through complex challenges. Your strategic vision shaped our technological future, and your thoughtful approach ensured that we are always moving forward with a purpose. Above all, you have been a great advocate, championing innovation and supporting our teams with unwavering dedication. Thank you for all that you have done. We wish you a retirement as remarkable as the career you have built here. Enjoy every moment of it. You have earned it with great appreciations and best wishes. Congratulations.
Good morning, Chair Geithner and honorable commissioners. Thank you for inviting me to participate today in celebration and recognition of my soulmate. I've had a front row seat for 35 years. I've watched Jeff progress from a cute, carefree college boy into a remarkable leader for our family and for El Paso County. We started our journey together in the Southern Plains, but dreamt of a life better suited for our adventurous nature. I remember the day in 1998 when he first spoke of applying for a job at El Paso County. Once he explained that he was not referring to the southern border of our country, but a beautiful community at the foot of the Rockies, I was all in. Today, I'm filled with gratitude for the opportunities he's been afforded here. I do know, though, that he earned opportunity through his unwavering commitment, innovation, and foresight, and his ongoing drive to serve people. From his early days of crafting and hand-delivering maps to Fire Command Post, to spearheading the rapid deployment of remote connectivity for thousands of employees during the grip of the pandemic, Jeff has consistently prioritized equipping people with tools and information they need to serve others effectively. His leadership style, characterized by hard work, trustworthiness, bravery, and generosity, has been a cornerstone of his success. His intuitive nature, coupled with his strategic planning skills, has allowed him to anticipate needs and take decisive actions. His fiscal conservatism and deep-rooted belief in strategic decision-making have not only benefited employees and constituents with safe, effective technology, but also led to his expanded role in guiding the strategic direction of El Paso County. As we transition into this new chapter, I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to county leadership. Thank you for recognizing Jeff's potential and providing a platform for his talents to flourish. To the community, your trust and support have been instrumental in allowing Jeff to implement innovative solutions that have enhanced public service. And to employees, your collaboration and dedication have been crucial in bringing Jeff's visions to life. I sincerely wish continued prosperity for El Paso County. Thank you and God bless.
I want to thank everybody for being here today. This is my department and the people who make it happen. As I stand before you tomorrow, oh, wait a minute, this is not going to work. These were not here 27 years ago. As I stand before you to mark this pivotal moment in my life, I'm filled with gratitude and reflection on the past 26 years. The achievements celebrated in my retirement proclamation are not my own. They are a testament to the incredible teamwork of the Digital Strategy and Technology Department, the various offices and departments in the county, and my wonderful colleagues on the executive team. I truly believe that not a single one of these accomplishments could have been possible without the collaboration and support of so many individuals. There are countless people who have accompanied me on this journey, and while I cannot name everyone in this short time, there are a few individuals I must recognize for their unwavering support and encouragement. But first and foremost, I want to thank my God and Savior, Jesus Christ. His guidance has been my anchor, reminding me that by remaining in Him, we can achieve great things, while apart from Him, we can do nothing. I must start with my wife, Natalie, who has been my best friend and partner for 35 incredible years. Thank you. You are my greatest encourager, effortlessly bringing out the best in me with your kind words, your boundless patience, and your infectious spirit to embrace life fully. Anyone who knows you understands the light you bring into the lives of those around you. I look forward to cherishing the years ahead as we continue to write this beautiful love story together. I also want to recognize my two sons, Derek and Wyatt, who are off at college and couldn't be here today. The role of being a father has been one of life's greatest joys, and I'm grateful that I could balance a serious job with being deeply present for countless adventures. From backcountry hikes and numerous ski days to scouting trips and high school activities, my time with you has been a cherished part of my life. Boys, I'm incredibly proud of you and can't wait for future adventures. To my parents, John and Shirley, who are watching from my childhood home in Vienna, West Virginia, thank you for your unwavering examples of faith, hard work, and the essence of family. You instilled in us the importance of pursuing our dreams, and I hope you feel proud of what your three sons have accomplished. I also want to express my heartfelt gratitude to County Administrators Brett Waters, Amy Folsom, and Henry Yankowski, a few names from the past. Your confidence and leadership allowed me the privilege of guiding the IT department and contributing to the countywide strategic plan. Brett, I will especially miss our Friday conversations. Your deep character and commitment to El Paso County has been a true inspiration. And Joe, I extend a special thank you to Deputy CIO Joe Palmer. Working alongside you these past 5 years has been a wonderful experience. Your wisdom and professionalism have greatly influenced my leadership journey. Remembering my childhood preacher's words, quote, "The mark of superior minds is the ability to disagree and yet still be friends," unquote. I am grateful that we could have our debates while maintaining our camaraderie. I'm relieved to know you will continue the important work in DST and EPC as our interim CIO. To my colleagues on the executive team, I saw a few of you today. Thank you for your support and commitment throughout the past 9 years. Together, we have navigated the triumphs and challenges, including the unprecedented times brought by COVID-19. I've witnessed your dedication to uplifting our county, and I encourage you to keep striving for even greater achievements for our residents and community. I want to acknowledge my colleagues on the strategy planning team. Thank you for your insights and flexibility as we embarked on our strategic journey, particularly to objective sponsors Sunny Bryant, Stacy Quiddick, and Crystal Latier. Your dedication to our strategic plan alongside your other responsibilities has not gone unnoticed. The county is fortunate to have such committed leaders. I extend my appreciation to the various elected officials I've had the pleasure of working with over the years, including Chuck Browerman, Mark Flucher, Steve Schleicher, and Mark Louderman. Additionally, I want to thank the dedicated staff from the Sheriff's Office, District Attorney, and Coroner's Office for their collaboration. And lastly, I want to express my gratitude to the Board of County Commissioners and all the prior commissioners I've served under. Your approach has fostered a collaborative atmosphere, allowing me to grow and contribute effectively. So in closing, as I look back on my career, I feel tremendously fulfilled. I'm excited for the future, both for myself and for all of you who will continue to drive positive change in our community. Thank you once again for being part of this journey with me, and here's to new beginnings.
We're going to have to do that one more time after we vote. So, so get ready to get on your feet again. I want to give, obviously, the commissioners an opportunity to speak before we do take that vote then. So I'll just ask from the commissioners who would like to kick off comments. Vice Chair Williams.
Well, I can kick off comments. I actually worked at the county from 1999 to 2007, worked on the old fax system. So if my artwork were not so atrocious, I would have created a gravestone for you that says, "Rest in peace, fax." So I think that the biggest thing that our county IT department, one of the biggest things they've done is to get us off the fax. It was a great product for its time, but its time had passed about 20 years ago. Spent a lot of time working with our department trying to make the transition for foreclosure software. Fortunately, I was term limited and we had a different person come in and make a different decision. And so I think now that things are under Chuck Browerman, that's a little bit smoother to do the foreclosures. I wanted to talk about the time during the COVID pandemic where you had seemingly, we just didn't miss a day. It was 2 or 3 days, maybe at the most, we were down, and then everybody was able to work from home. I actually considered that a small miracle, but it was obviously had a little bit more strategy from the computer side of the world, and thank you for all of you who helped with that. Our strategic plan is amazing. I tell people it It doesn't sit on a shelf and gain dust. When I worked for El Paso County in 1999, it was quite a dust gatherer in my office. This is something that's living, breathing, and everything we do in El Paso County relates to that strategic plan. And your pushing of it and monitoring it and working with the various departments on it has made El Paso County a better place. Finally, I wanted to mention a day that I think was somewhat funny. When you required all 5 commissioners to go on to multi-factor authentication. Wow. This is why we have an IT department to support commissioners. 2 hours after coming in to help us with that, I think we all finally had a minimum of how to understand it. But the multi-factor authentication was certainly a huge change for all of us, and thank you for your staff's patience. Also, thank you for the entire IT department's patience with Commissioner Holly Williams, because sometimes, I'll tell one more story. This is a good story. So I came into my office, I have the electrical panels in my office, And they're wise enough not to give me a key to the door. And one day I came in, and every time the air conditioner came on, my doors blew open. These are locked doors, and they would whoosh, blew right open. So we got 5 people from the facilities department in there to look at it. What was going on? And finally, Brian Olson looks up in the ceiling, and there is this big hole in the ceiling. Then we had 4 IT department guys in there wondering, and the final question was, why did IT come in and put a hole in Holly's ceiling to put a DMV kiosk outside and forget to close up the hole so that our doors blew open all the time? So it took 9 people to change a light bulb that day. But it was an entertaining 9 people. And I appreciate sincerely all of your efforts on my behalf personally. I hope you truly enjoy your retirement. This will be fantastic. The county will still survive because I see about 40, 50 people behind us who will hold us up, and Joe Palmer will be there to help us. And so congratulations on your retirement. Enjoy the time that you have now away from the county, and appreciate all you do. Thank you.
Commissioner Brimmer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll jump in here. You know, your lengthy proclamation went through decades of accolades from your beginnings here at the county, and I think back to even, as you mentioned in your comments, the commissioners that were here back then. And if you think we're difficult to navigate through getting online and going through things like multifactorial authentication, I am quite sure that it was much more difficult 26 years ago. And, you know, just to think about the technological changes that have happened during that time is really remarkable. I think the fact that your parents are online watching this live is a beautiful thing, and ironic, and because of you and all the people behind you and your ability to see into the future about what would be needed, and plan out, thankfully for us managing the budgets, plan out what was really going to be needed in the future. And I know our county administrator spoke to your ability to just your ability to think strategically like that. And I think it's amazing to think about the bird's eye view that you've had of this county for decades. And I believe that strategic mind was honed with what you were able to see happening across multiple departments, across very different needs in a clerk and recorder's office, an assessor's office, commissioner's offices, finance office. But you were the point of being able to not only keep the county moving along, but keep us moving along with a focus on where we would need to be next as well. The other thing I wanted to say, it's very apparent, and I've always just intuitively known this about you, but to hear it spoken from several of the speakers today, your character and integrity are above reproach. And I particularly appreciate the principled and thoughtful way you make decisions that are not just for you. They're for the citizens of El Paso County, they're for your employees, and they're really a support, or in support of all of us. And then finally, I'll just say the professionalism with which your entire office operates. I know that sometimes, from time to time, it's contractors, from time to time, it's employees that are coming in to help. But the standard of excellence and professionalism that they were all held to under your leadership it has brought the department so far. And I very much appreciate how you have done that. So best wishes. I'd love to hear, after we're done roasting you a bit, I'd love to hear what your next plans are, and even if you don't know far in the future, your next few weeks of getting away and enjoying, celebrating a job well done. Thank you.
Commissioner Wysong.
Jeff, we haven't had an opportunity as a new commissioner and new to the county. I just wanted to thank you for all the work that you've done, all the accolades. You made it all possible, and looking forward to reaping the rewards of what you've laid in front of us. So thank you very much.
Commissioner Wysong, or excuse me, Applegate.
I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your service. Enjoy your retirement. Yep.
So I will wrap us up here. First of all, this is a little bit of an internal joke, but I have showed remarkable restraint about applause today, and I want to point that out for everyone in the room, because everyone knows I generally am really reining people in on the applause in this room. This is a very special occasion, and I think worthy of suspending my. Well, I'll just leave it at that before I describe myself. I just cannot thank you enough for the service that you have committed to our county. And it has been said so well already by so many that have more longevity here with you than I do. But there are a few things. I'm glad that multi-factor was brought up, because I have to tell you, it is a funny thing to joke about, but it is also something that reminds me of your great courage. Because it's not always easy to tell people that they have to do something hard, but knowing that it was the right thing to do for the county, you showed a tremendous amount of courage in saying this is what we have to do, and being firm, and also just taking the time to explain how important that process was for us, and that it might be a little painful, but we needed to do it. And that was a really important thing. I will also say that my multi-factor authentication is running much more smoothly these days. So I'm really glad that you fixed that before you left. But of course, another thing that I asked, as you know, in our informal meeting not too long ago was, is our interim director going to be a Mac user? I've always appreciated that as a long-term Apple person, having someone who understands and doesn't just write you off when you have an issue, and the team is great about this, but doesn't just write you off and go, oh, well, it's because you have Mac. You know, it's so wonderful to have that level of support, and I've always appreciated that. But something that, as we talk about the strategic plan and your incredible vision, I remember when you first went around to all of our offices and talked about the strategic plan, and it has stuck with me, something that you said when we talked about what our community expected from what we do here, and that was, you're like, they're used to Amazon. We got to be like Amazon. We just, they got to be able to go a place and get something done. And that kind of aggressive nature of looking at the service that we should provide, that we should be providing the same quality and level of service that our citizens expect from businesses. That's unique amongst government sometimes. And that has never left me, of how seriously you took providing service to our community members and forward thinking. And that was really impactful to me. And I want you to know that your commitment to service has just always been very, very clear. And finally, I'll just say, good governance looks a lot like a life well lived, in that it's all about priorities. And when we prioritize what's most important in this world and what's most important to residents, that's how we get to the best outcomes. And it is clear that you have done that in both cases, not only prioritizing what was best for citizens, but also in your individual life. You've always been an inspiration to me, as you've talked about your boys. Having two boys myself, it's good to know that I can make it through, first of all. So, it can happen. As a mom of two teenagers, it's always an inspiration to me to see people who have made it through some of what can be the tougher years with grace, and coming out of the other side with adult sons that I know that you are incredibly proud of. And so you are an inspiration to me on a personal level as well. So thank you so much for your service. With that, I'm just going to make sure we don't have any redos or any last minute here. I think Commissioner Bremer, did you want to ask the question about what the next few weeks look like before we vote?
Sure, I'd love to hear if you're willing to share.
So first on the agenda is to go see the boys. So we'll leave for my oldest son's at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. So we'll head out there on Saturday. And then my youngest son is at Colorado Mountain College in Steamboat Springs. He's studying to be a ski bum and doing it well. And so we'll see him midweek. So the first part of retirement this first month is about family visits. I'll go see my folks and little brother out east later in March. But then there'll be a time of just letting the noise calm down and collect my thoughts. And we'll collectively figure out at that point what's next.
Thanks for sharing.
Yep.
Do we have anyone online who wants to speak? Did we have any family members or anything that didn't get an opportunity? Okay, thank you. All right, so with that, we will move to a vote. I'm not sure how this is going to go, so hang on to the edge of your seat there. Commissioner Bremer.
Aye.
Commissioner Wison.
Aye.
Commissioner Applegate.
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 5-0, and I think we will take a brief recess to do a photograph with you.
Thank you.
I'll call this meeting back to order, and we are on item 7.
Item number 7 is comments by elected officials and commissioner liaison reports. 7A, 2024 Year in Review, Enhancing Transparency and Efficiency in El Paso County's Clerk and Recorder Operations. Steve Schleicher, Clerk and Recorder.
Good morning, Commissioner. Steve Schleicher, El Paso County Clerk and Recorder. And I am going to go through our 2024 annual report with you, and I'm going to really make this fast because I do know that you have a busy agenda coming up. So if I skip through some slides, I do apologize. But what I want to do, oh, wrong one, is just basically talk about the office highlights of 2024, everything that we have done in the Clerk and Recorder's office as a summation. As we reflect on 2024, my office remains steadfast in its commitment to providing exceptional service, ensuring election integrity, and improving efficiency across all divisions from motor vehicle, elections, clerk to the board, and recording. So this past year, we have successfully oversaw the 2024 general election. If you remember, we had 3 elections that were back to back to back, and basically topped off with a House District 16 recount, which was separated by 3 votes. So one of the things I want to sit there and talk about, office highlights, is we ensured a safe and secure election. I could not be more proud of our Board of County Commissioners, my staff, the team here in El Paso County, and the voters. Since 2023 in November, El Paso County has been #1 in the state in regards as far as voter turnout. And we ensured safe and secure elections. In addition to that, I also opened up our dealer desk. What that does is I pulled the dealers, which we have over 100 dealers here in El Paso County, where they now have their own office. This has reduced wait times on many of our citizens because dealers will come in with multiple titles, or they got emergency titles that need to be done. But they do take up a lot of time when they come on in with the amount of title work that they need. So with the work of facilities, and also the other countywide electeds at CSC, is we found a space. It cost the taxpayers $0. Basically, the equipment was already there, and we reopened the dealer desk, which reduced wait times in each of my 4 branches. The other thing that I shared with you is our new voter data website that's out there. This is something that Angie and I went out to the partnership for large election jurisdictions in San Diego this past week and a half, and showed many in the country what this website is about. This is the first website in the country that I coordinated with Spatialist for a GIS platform, and also putting it as far as elections. So at this conference, 70% of all the voters in the nation were represented at this conference from the Clerk and Recorders. The other thing is I received a $500,000 digitization grant from ERTB. So that board went ahead and provided us $500,000, and we have digitized and indexed all of our 1980 through 1989 records. And we are now currently working our way back. My goal is, as your clerk and recorder, is to get everything from the inception of El Paso County to be digitized and indexed. And we are working on that. In our elections department, it was a historic year for the elections department. Although the election, the turnout was down, we still set a record for the number of participants in El Paso County. As you can sit there and see, is we are #1 in the state in the number of registered voters. We are over 500,000 registered voters here in El Paso County, and that is consistently going up. So with that being said, is the elections department is extremely busy. We are currently working with the city of Colorado Springs with Clerk Sarah Johnson to ensure that she has a safe, secure April 1st election. So we're coordinating with her, and then we're going to be preparing for our November 2025 coordinated election. Our motor vehicle department continues to be extremely busy. We did over 214,322 motor vehicle titles this last year. We beat the state by 35% in the issuance of driver's licenses. The state still requires you to sit there and set an appointment to come visit them, whereas my office does not. So during the week and also on the weekends, there's many folks from other counties that will come to UTC on Saturdays, and they will sit there and come down and renew their driver's license here in El Paso County. Motor Vehicle Express, which is basically a service we do for ADA and also our military, nearly 72,000, and then our military members out there on Fort Carson, 11,348. Here's our statistics. We are number one in the state with one of our motor vehicle kiosks. And as you can see, it's Union Town Center. That kiosk assisted over 23,000 citizens in 2024. As you can see, with the culmination of 13 of our kiosks throughout the county, is basically it's taken 111,448 customers where they can easily go to the kiosk, either in the King Soopers or throughout any of our motor vehicle branches to get their registrations. One thing as I will share is at the Pledge Conference, is I'm working with the company that is doing the motor vehicle kiosk, which the company is called ITI. They are now testing and looking at where citizens can also renew their driver's license at a kiosk. They no longer will need to come into the motor vehicle branch. So me and my team are in communication with ITI. I would like to set up some of those kiosks here in El Paso County to do some testing right along with them and see how our citizens will go with that. As you can see here, the transactions by branch, Fort Carson, 11%. Really, our UTC and Powers are our power hitters, where Powers is at nearly 34% of the public is visiting our Powers branch. Union Town Center, 30%, and Citizen Service Center, 25.3%. One of the things is average wait times is since becoming clerk and recorder, I wanted to get our wait times below a half hour. And as you can see, on average, we are nearly 10 minutes below that. There are things that I'm working with our county administration is we are going to definitely improve upon that coming up this year. Our recording department was as busy. Yes, our documents are down. The reason why is because, not a lot of folks are buying, selling real property right now. Not a lot of warranty deeds coming in, not a lot of refinancing. But we still had over 104,000 documents recorded, nearly 500,000 pages indexed. E-recordings, 86,000, and marriage and civil unions, 7,445. One of the things that we did this last several weeks is working with my team is we actually did a Valentine's Day marriage palooza at the recording department, and we had nearly 90 marriages on that day where folks could come on in. We set up, a photo shoot, had some refreshments, but it was really great to see a lot of couples come on in there. And the videos are out there on the social media platform, so it was a really neat day to see that. Our clerk to the board, amazing Jackie. So as you can sit there and see, agenda items 1,053, resolutions 511, contracts 177, abatements 205, County Board of Equalization 620, which was an off year. So 2025, of course, as our assessor has alluded to, is going to be a reappraisal year. So Jackie and I are already working with our county assessor's office in regards to the County Board of Equalization. But Jackie and her team have done an amazing job on your behalf in 2024. Staff recognition. 10 years, we're sitting there also celebrating folks in the clerk and recorder's office where Wendy Boone, Shirley Costa, Jennifer Farquhar, Penny Tuck celebrating 10 years. Erica Adams, who's my operations manager, Darlene Hamlin, Nicole Kirchie, Michelle Stroop, 15 years. Jen Brickle, 20 years. Kevin Long, 25 years. And then, of course, 35 years, Shirley Marshall. Other spotlights is Selena Marquez. She basically was recognized by the state of Colorado for Donor Alliance, which facilitates organ and tissue donations. So she received a pretty good prize from the Department of Revenue. Chelsea Murdoch and Sam Ortiz for their work on the voter service polling centers, in-person vote centers for the general election. Those guys hired over 800 judges. facilitated over 31 VSPCs through El Paso County, which was the most in the state, and those two did an amazing job. Serenity Ford, who is now assistant clerk to the board coordinator, she was just recently hired there to work with Jackie. And also Beverly Blanchard, who retired after 37 years with El Paso County. So looking at the election revenues, is our revenues in elections were down. As you can see from 2023, motor vehicle, we brought in over $202 million in motor vehicle in 2024, and we were quite up from 2023. Recording, we brought in $4.4 million, which we are up from 2023, and clerk to the board brought in $36,797, which we are up from 2023. As our finance director shared, is although revenue is up, is a majority, sadly, a lot of this revenue is redistributed and is sent back up to the state of Colorado. So when we sit there and we take a look at year-to-date dispersed, is 2023, we dispersed nearly $182 million to the state of Colorado. This past year, nearly $196 million, which was a huge increase. But as you sit there and you take a look, the year-to-date retained is the county in 2024 retained $12.8 million, which was not much of a big increase in regards to the monies retained for El Paso County.
Vice Chair Williams.
Yes, clerk. What kind of revenues do we send back to the state? Is that the driver's license? Okay.
Absolutely. So Commissioner, that is a really good question. So the revenues would be a majority of the motor vehicle fees. The taxes, of course, stay here local and get separated out to our municipalities, but a lot of the fees, registration fees, a number of those different things go up to the state. One thing that I feel that I would like to start beginning looking at is the retention. As you see in 2023, the retention was 6.46%. That retention went down to 6.18%, where the state is absolutely keeping more of our money, and I think we could do better with it here at the local level than at the state level. So the goals here in 2025, I'll wrap it up, is I'm definitely focused on improved motor vehicle efficiency. We are looking at upgrading our queue flow management system, which is where you come on in, you get a number, you sit in the lobby and you wait for your number to be pulled. So my team and I are prioritizing this project where what we're looking at is how do we get all of the people out, basically sitting down and, taking up some space. Well, we're going to be upgrading QFlow where somebody can come on in, they pull a number, they can go get a cup of coffee, sit in the car, or go for a walk, and the system will sit there and text them or call them or email them to let them know their number is going to be called in 5 minutes. So to me, I think it's going to be a great upgrade and a great service for our citizens. The other thing is in continually enhancing election integrity and accessibility. That is an ongoing thing. My team and I already sat down and spoke about all the good things of 2024 during all of those elections and the recount, and also the bad things and where we can improve upon. Grow employee retention, and a great segue with Jeff's retirement, technology, and infrastructure upgrades. Taking a look at modernizing office equipment to increase productivity, as we were sitting here talking about with QFlow. But commissioners, 2024 was a significant year. As you can see, the numbers are way up from what they were in 2023. Things are looking pretty good in the clerk and recorder's office. So are there any questions?
Doesn't appear to be any questions, but thank you.
Chair, was that 15 minutes?
I think you made it just under the deadline. Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. With that, I see if there are additional countywide electeds who would like to speak at this time. No? Anybody online? Okay. So we will go ahead and bring it up here to the Board of County Commissioners, beginning with Commissioner Brummer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What a great celebration for our IT director, Jeff Eckhart. Earlier today, we do this week have several events honoring another 25-year employee of the county. And I just wanted to just go through a couple of pivotal points here. Susan Whelan, our public health director, began her career as an environmental health specialist, and that is the bottom of the totem pole in the public health world, in 1999. And then she continued to work the way she works in building collaborations. I first met Susan when I was a public communications specialist at the city of Colorado Springs, and she was pulling together the first collaborative effort to figure out how to deal with West Nile virus. And her professionalism as a public information officer, a few decades into her career at that point, was impressive. And really looking back on it, I think that I had a front row seat to watching how she pulled multiple entities together. You were talking about, I think the city at the time owned several reservoirs, several ponds and parks. There were some facilities with tires and water, and the way she brought people together to look at how this community could come together to make sure that West Nile virus was not as bad as it could have been here was really impressive. From there, the last 6 years, I have served on the Board of Health and had the honor of doing so in representation of this board, and to see the way that that she has led through many difficult things, including the COVID pandemic. She led with a focus on customer service, on excellence, and made a real impact on the way that entities come together to collaborate during that time. She had the ability to call medical offices, to pull together elected officials, schools, everybody that was impacted in IT, and really see how it was that we could continue to serve the public from during that time. The other notable thing that was done, she really has taken a holistic look at, El Paso County Public Health serves a far and wide reaching area, as does El Paso County. She did a great job of extending services out into the rural parts of the county, ensuring that there was access to everything from vaccinations there to environmental health issues. And then culminating in an opening of a Public Health South building down in Fountain. So that has been an impressive thing, and all along it's been done with a focus on what our community needs were around public health. Susan's commitment to accountability, collaboration, and community partnerships has created a foundation of success that I'm sure will carry public health in El Paso County into the future. With that, I do have several events later this week surrounding that. I too will be, I think, attending a public health meeting. I believe that Ted Colas will also be honored as he is stepping down as our volunteer board chair of that board. So I'm very appreciative to his service. He did a great job of bringing his background and knowledge from the fire department into how we could collaborate with our municipalities into the Board of Health. So would also like to thank Ted Colas for his service on the Board of Health, as his last meeting is this week. That is all my comments. Thank you.
Commissioner Wysong.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We'll be gone next week, attending the National Council of Counties. So what I wanted to show with this slide, the key thing that you just heard from both IT, a clerk and recorder, there's a number of other entities. We've done a number of tremendous things where we're focused on doing more for less. Being brand new, there's a lot of this that I did not know. And when I start talking about it to various people around the county, they don't know this information either. And so I just wanted to talk about a couple of things that, since the property tax bills just came out, you're going, oh man, that's a large chunk of change. The dollar bill in this particular case is somewhat simplified, but it's an accurate description. Some people have metro districts, different school districts have different assessment rates. But just as an example here, that the county only receives less than 13% of that dollar. So 13 cents out of that dollar is the only amount that stays within the county to use. And you just heard all the great things that we've been doing. And one of the other great things that you didn't hear about, but our Public Works Department, we've done a tremendous amount with our Public Works Department, and our interim director is standing at the back of the room, but he's taking a lot of what we take for granted, and we talk about our roads, our conditions for roads, but the technology has evolved, again, thanks to IT and others, that we can now do so much more for less. And so that is our commitment as commissioners, is to watch that bottom line and continue to do more for less. Thank you.
Commissioner Applegate.
Thank you. I was a busy man Saturday. So in the morning, I went out to Habitat for Humanity. They were in my district up in the Rustic Hills neighborhood off of Bidwell there. They had a groundbreaking ceremony, and they also had a ribbon cutting for another house that was completely done. And we got to check it out and go through the tour and everything. And man, they really rolled out the red carpet for us. And it was really it was awesome to see that we have that in this neighborhood, that we have people that are willing to work for their houses, and that they have nonprofits and people behind them that are willing to help them construct those homes. And now they have good, nice living in honestly a great neighborhood. And later in the afternoon, I went out to Miami Yoder area, out in Rush. For those of you that don't know where that's at, start heading east. When you see the sign that says "Welcome to Kansas," head north or south. I was out there, and they were having an event for the FFA, and that was basically like their version of a 4-H. And so here's like high school and middle school age kids, and they're learning agriculture. They're learning like how to take care of livestock, basically, even up to like small cattle. And this is awesome because that neighborhood is really reliant on a lot of the farming and ranching that happens out there. And it was great. I got to meet a couple of superintendents. I got to meet the brand inspector out there, and I just had a fun time, and first time trying Rocky Mountain oysters. So quite the experience.
Vice Chair Williams.
Yes. So one of the things I wanted to point out, I didn't want to comment on it at the time, but on the consent calendar, one of the items we considered today and approved is to appropriate expenditures back to budgets, and that was $13,602,953. And I think that's always really important. We encourage our department heads on purpose to not spend down their budgets at the end of the year, and that allows them every year to save money for projects from years to year, and that would be unlike perhaps the federal government, which is encouraged to spend it or lose it. We say spend it and save it, and that makes a big deal for our taxpayer dollars here to be able to spend it and save it, because then they can save that money for a multi-year project, which might cost more than they could afford in their given budget in 1 year. The only thing I'd like to go over today is actually my schedule. On Wednesday, we have our Regional Opioid Council at 2 p.m. I will try and make as much of that meeting as possible, but we'll need to leave between 3 and 3:30 because Commissioner Weissong and I are speaking at the Tri-Lakes State of the Region. And we're going to have a very enjoyable time touting the successes of the county. Thursday afternoon, we get to do the Welfare Allocation Council, Child Welfare Allocation Council 101 with CCI. Very complex formula, and we're glad that to see some training coming through CCI, so that'll be something I'll be able to attend and start to get a handle on that committee that I serve on now. That we do go to the National Association of Counties this weekend through next week, so we will not have a meeting next week. Then when I do get back, we have our CCI steering committee meetings on Thursday and Friday where we discuss legislation. And I also have the statewide transportation advisory committee on Thursday of next week. Yesterday, just as information, we had the Citizens Outreach Group. It was an enjoyable group to listen to and to discuss as they plan this year's Citizens College, which is a very good event where citizens can come and learn all that we do here in El Paso County. So those are the things that I've done, and that's it. All I have for today. Thank you.
Several of the things that I have participated in and that I will be participating in this week have been mentioned, but I'll just go through those quickly. One being the Board of Health, the Opioid Council. Also, I will be participating in the NACO conference and spending some time talking about priorities. We have a lot of federal funding and programs that are administered partially through the state and then passed down to counties. So there's quite a nexus between what's going on at the federal government and what's going on locally. And so looking forward to having some of those conversations next week. I also wanted to just do a couple of quick updates. One on CCI steering last week, very long meetings, but we took a lot of important positions and proud of the work that El Paso County is doing as a leader in that organization. Specifically, there was a vote on Senate Bill 003, which began as a full-out gun ban. The Republicans in the Senate stayed up very late. I think about 3 a.m. is what I heard that when they finally closed out that debate. On that bill. It's clearly unconstitutional. Every lawmaker should know it's unconstitutional. The Supreme Court has made it clear that banning weapons that have been in use since the founding of our country or have a similar use as those that were used at that time period. Again, going back to Supreme Court rulings on this, that if they're widely used by the population, that is not something that can be banned. And so I think it's very clear that many of the lawmakers on the Democrat side of the aisle, although some did join Republicans, and being concerned about that. But there was ultimately an amendment that was put on that bill that rather than being an outright ban, it turned it into what is essentially a licensing scheme. So you have to take a 12-hour class before you can purchase any firearm. That's a very... it's a very big obstacle to people actually having their rights. So I believe it's still unconstitutional even with that. But even maybe more relevant to the county itself is that it would require the sheriff's office to do all this vetting and work around that, which creates a huge burden on our sheriff's office. I believe the estimate has been about 3 new employees that would take just to process that. And it could create quite a backlog in allowing people to actually purchase firearms. So very concerning still. That was discussed at CCI in particular because of that county nexus where it would create a burden on the counties to try to process all of that. And so the counties did vote to oppose 003, which I am very grateful for, both from a constitutional perspective and a workload perspective that's just really not needed here at the county. So good outcome on that in particular. I also wanted to mention that there is a bill working to give counties more flexibility in working with our federal partners and deal with some of the immigration issues. That is going to be in committee today, and I am planning on testifying on that today. Also, In the news this morning, I happened to notice that the SBA administrator is ordering regional offices to exit sanctuary cities like Denver. So the Small Business Administration has a large presence in Denver. And our federal government saying, you know, it's time for us to, for cities who are not willing to follow the laws, and work with the federal government to solve problems for citizens. It's time to move those federal centers outside of those locations. I would just like to offer El Paso County. We are not a sanctuary county. We have been very vocal about supporting the Trump administration's agenda here and making sure that our communities are safe. We're putting Americans first, El Paso County residents first. So I'm hoping that we can make ourselves available and let them know that we would be happy to host any of those federal employees here that are being moved or potentially being moved out of Denver. And with that, I will end my comments and we will move to item 8.
Item number 8 is community service organization reports, and there are none.
Item 9.
Item number 9 is public comment on items not scheduled on the agenda. This is the public's opportunity to speak on an item that is not scheduled on today's agenda. And Madam Chair, I'm aware of one person signing in ahead of time to speak today.
Okay. So if you would like to speak on an item not scheduled on the agenda, I'd invite you to come down if you have not already signed in. It seems like we have one person. Is that online or in the room? Okay, so please do come on down. Since you've already signed in, we won't need you to do that again, but do state your name for the record. You will have 3 minutes, and I'll just ask you to stay very close to that microphone so we can be sure to hear you.
Great, thank you. My name is Brett Dayberry. I read the following comments to the City Council at their October 8th meeting. Quote, "There are those within our community who quite admirably want to make Colorado Springs the safest city in America. In my opinion, some significant changes need to be implemented in order to earn that moniker. We've all heard the stories coming out of Aurora about the apartments that have been taken over by Venezuelan gangs. DA Michael Allen has stated publicly that these gangs are now here in Colorado Springs. With that as a backdrop, on September 29th, I went to the Walmart at North Academy and Voyager to pick up my order from their outside pickup. When I pulled up, I noticed a group of about a dozen individuals acting suspiciously. Most of them were not in their cars, as one would expect, but rather they were mulling around the area. So I approached one of them and I asked him, "Where are you guys from?" His response was, "Venezuela." I then asked, "Are you here legally?" To which he responded, "No." I tried to ask additional questions, to which he would only reply, "No speak English." After trying to speak with others to no avail, I told them that they needed to leave. Shortly thereafter, Walmart security came out and asked what was going on. I told them that you have about a dozen illegal aliens here and they all need to leave. Instead, it was I that was told to leave. I then called 911. After the police arrived, they met with me and Walmart security separately. They made no attempt to speak with the known illegal aliens. The result of this situation, the illegals were never even approached by the police and they were allowed to go at their leisure, while I was given a mandatory summons to appear in court for a trespassing charge. This is what happens when one tries to be responsible, concerned citizen. As an off and on resident of Colorado Springs for over 50 years, I can say for the first time, I no longer feel safe in this city. Recently, I was made aware of an ICE number I can call to report illegal aliens. That number is 866-347-2423. I am very pleased to hear that both Sheriff Roy Ball and Sheriff Mikesell will be working directly with ICE. What I still don't know, and I assume the majority of this community doesn't know, is it best for us to call the 800 number in a situation that I described, or is it best to call our local sheriff's department? Clear public safety strategies from our city and county leaders need to be developed, implemented, and then made known to this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the room who'd like to speak during public comment? I see no one else in the room, and I'll check online. And we have no one else online. Thank you. Item 10.
Item number 10 is the called up consent calendar, and there are no items called up.
Item 11.
Item 11 is a resolution to reappropriate 2024 contracts, projects, and purchase orders from various fund balances and to recognize revenue to the 2025 budget. Nikki Simmons, Chief Financial Officer. And Madam Chair, we have provided Exhibit A for this item, which is an updated resolution.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nikki Simmons, Chief Financial Officer. I'm here in front of you this morning to request approval for the 2024 to 2025 reappropriations. This is a regular part of our budgeting process, and Commissioner Williams stole a little bit of my thunder earlier in my explanation of it. But that this is a process that we utilize in El Paso County as a best practice in order to encourage projects to continue throughout the year and not stall at the end of the year, and also encourage departments to underspend as a way to fund projects without having to come back and request more funding. This allows the departments themselves to control their budgets and not create that waste that we see in other levels of government. So it's something we're really proud of. It's a model that other governments have used from us. And so what's in front of you, we did have one change to the resolution. It was a minor dollar amount change to make something match. That was caught after it was agendized. And so the resolution in front of you totals $127 million. For all funds, and these are all projects in process. Part of the backup is every single project and the amount for that project. These are things that are currently on purchase orders or projects that were in process as of the end of 2024 that we're requesting those unspent funds be added back to the 2025 budget.
I have a procedural question. So do we just, Jackie, approve the resolution that's in the agenda? Or do we approve the amended resolution in front of us?
I'll defer to Nikki Simmons, but yes, preferably the exhibit that as a handout that is the amended resolution to the backup.
Thank you.
Any additional questions, Ms. Simmons? Okay, with that, I think we are ready for that motion, and I think we've gotten some clarity on that.
I would move to approve the amended resolution to reappropriate 2024 contracts, projects, and purchase orders from various fund balances and to recognize revenue to the 2025 budget. And the amended resolution is in front of all 5 commissioners.
I second.
Okay, that's been moved and seconded. One last chance for any additional questions. Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Brummer.
Aye.
Commissioner Weisong.
Aye.
Commissioner Applegate.
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Item 12.
Item number 12 is department and committee reports, non-action items, and there are none.
Item 13.
Item 13 is the addendum, and there are no addendums today.
Item 14.
Item 14 is the executive session. We have a request for an executive session pursuant to CRS 246402 4B and E for the purpose of holding a conference with the County Attorney's Office to receive legal advice on specific legal questions and determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and instructing negotiators regarding Colorado DHS funding allocation to the Colorado Child Care Assistance Program, CCCAP, the Memorandum of Understanding regarding CCCAP, and resulting impacts to El Paso County and CCCAP recipients. Kenneth Hodges, County Attorney, and Stacy Quiddick, Executive Director, Department of Human Services.
I move we go into executive session for the purposes stated on the record.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. I'll call the roll. Commissioner Brummer.
Aye.
Commissioner Weisong.
Aye.
Commissioner Applegate.
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 5-0, and we are in executive session.